Yo, what's good, people? Welcome to the channel. My name is Clint. I specialize in producing music for TV and film, and I teach other producers how to monetize their music by showing them how to produce, prepare, and pitch placement-ready music for TV as well. Shout out to everybody in the stream, man. We are back. I see you, Michael Connor, in the building for another Music is My Business podcast. Today, I'm going to show you guys two things that will literally and instantly supercharge your sync royalties. So there's gonna be some dope stuff. Y'all know I'm always studying stuff, man. Like every time I see placements, royalty statements, like I'm in study mode because I'm always learning. Like I tell y'all all the time, like success leaves clues, and you have to pay attention to this stuff so that you can exponentially grow in this space. So let me see what we got in the building, man, before we dig into this dope information. Win, what's good? Marcus Lyons, what's up? Z-Man Production, what's good? Good to see you. Beats by A Major, what's up? It's been a minute indeed. Spider Jackson, let's go. Patty P in the building, what's up? Greetings from Anguilla in Caribbean. Sync producer and composer, usually based in Vancouver, Canada. Yo, Michael, y'all been on vacation for like a whole week, man. What are y'all doing? So shout out to Michael, man. Hope all is well with you and the fam. Win, love your new program about AI. Thank you. Shout out to everybody who has enrolled in AI for producers. Man, like there's some stuff I need to add to that as well. In fact, I can't talk about it now, but there's a tool, like I'm going to be updating that course as well. So if you haven't enrolled in AI for producers, go to aiforproducers.com. Literally, I only have like 20 slots available at the price now, because the price is going to go up. But it's at a discounted price now, and there's like only 20 seats available for you to enroll at that price. So make sure you get it. You're going to get like all of the updates I'm going to throw in there, because AI is like changing like just rapidly, right? So anytime I find out about something that, you know, that I personally feel like would be useful to you as a producer, I'm not just going to throw like just a bunch of random stuff in there, but like if I think it's valuable, it can save you time or save you money, and I'm going to throw it in that course, and you'll get access to all of the updates for free. So definitely go to aiforproducers.com and get into that, because, man, it's a game changer. Let's see. We got Kadan in the building. What's up? More info about sync would be awesome. Oh, you already know. Like we're going to give you the sync gems tonight. For the new people coming in, we're going to talk about two things that'll supercharge your sync royalties. I got some data. We're gonna look at the data. We're gonna break it down from some placements. Is that how? Listen, it probably ain't. Like, listen. Hey Google, how do you pronounce Anguilla? It's Anguilla. So listen, I use Google multiple times throughout the day. Like if I'm shooting videos and I'm going off a script and I come across a word like that I haven't seen in a while, I'm hitting up Google. Like, Google, how do you? I can spell. I got straight A's in spelling, you know. Anyways, let's go. Driving a couple of reasons, unfortunately, given things, but okay. Sorry, man. Sorry to hear about the losses as well. Y'all know I be butchering some words and names, mostly names though. Names is what I primarily butcher, so it's all good. So yeah, this week has been, it goes so quick, man. By the time we meet back here to hang out, it's just flying. Like the week is almost over. It's hump day. But it's been pretty productive. Putting all the pieces together for Shades of Sync conference in Atlanta. That's coming together nicely. Excited to see a lot of y'all's faces in the building on November 4th. So we're getting ready for that. Started working on the new season of Catfish. So for the channel members on here, you guys are going to be seeing either some It'll probably be a combination of both. Some live streams of me actually working through that brief, as well as some exclusive content of me working on some stuff for that. So you get to see how the catfish stuff gets created behind the scenes for Team Dope. What else? Started working on that, and I used Logic Pro for iPad, so that was cool. I got a track, an idea started, and honestly, there was like 3 or 4. That's gonna be like the bulk of the track. Like I'll probably throw like some little things in there, transitional things, but yeah, it's gonna be crazy. So working on that. Just got an agreement in the email for some video game placements, which is honestly a first for me. So I'm excited about that. Got to look over it and everything. So once that is official and out and stuff, I'll let you guys know about that. So that's exciting. What else? That's been like the bulk of the week so far. Yeah, that's been the bulk of the week. I've been running out of hard drive space on my I've been doing like a bunch of videos, so it's been eating up stuff. So I had to go and like Final Cut and clear some stuff out. So all right, listen, let's talk about the 2 things that will supercharge your sync royalties. That's what we're gonna dig into today. So let me share my screen. I took a screenshot. Nope, that's not it. There we go. Okay, so I took a screenshot of some placements, right? And these probably happened like last year sometime, because where we're in October right now. No, I'm sorry, probably close to the beginning of the year. So there's several things that play a role into like royalties and stuff like that. That's why, like, if you ever ask anybody who talks about sync and tries like to educate you about sync, like none of us who are legit will give you like a specific amount that you will see in royalties. Like, oh, if you get a placement on BET, it's gonna pay you X amount of dollars. Like nobody knows. Like, so if it's cap if somebody giving you like a super specific number for a placement, because it's so all over the place, nobody can tell you a specific number. So as you can see here, all of these, we're gonna like do some comparison, because all of these are major network placements, right? So that's the first thing that's gonna supercharge your royalties, just off rip, automatically. You get a placement on a major TV network such as Fox, such as CBS, such as NBC, what's another one? ABC. The royalties are going to be more than like a cable network usually, like and that's if we're comparing apples to apples, right? Like if you had the same track playing for the same amount of time on 2 different channels, a major network TV channel and a cable network TV channel, the major network and playing at the same time, the major network is going to win that battle like every time. So that is the first thing that is just gonna take it up like just a whole nother notch. So that's the dope thing about and the huge difference between like traditional major network television and like streaming. If streaming ain't even in the conversation, but between cable TV and network TV, streaming is so far behind, like pennies. It's ridiculous. But for the traditional TV stuff, there's still money to be made. So let's look at this, and then we'll talk about like the second thing that play a role, which you'll probably be able to guess it. So here, these are placements. CBS. This was during March Madness, because I see Division II tournament, Nova Southeastern. This one was like the selection show. So this is like March Madness time, which is always my favorite time of the year, because that's an opportunity where CBS Sports is just thirsty. Like they're thirsty for all of the music. And if you've ever watched March Madness, you will notice that a lot of times they're using a lot of the same music like over and over and over again, and it plays for a long period of time. So as you can see here, we got prime time and day. Most of these are prime. Prime pays more. During the day doesn't pay as much. And then you also have like what is it, like Night Fringe or something. It's like it's a few different ones. But Prime is usually the best on network television. And the use, all of these are background uses. So these aren't like, featured placements where it's just only the music. Background is literally March Madness, like they're showing highlights or they're talking about the tournament and there's just music playing underneath. That's a background use. So if it was like a feature use, the royalties will also go up like a lot, especially on network television. All right, so all right, the second thing that is going to supercharge your sync royalties is the length of use. I always say the longer they play, the more they pay. And it's a fact. So as you can see here, let's see, this first one played for 25 seconds. Why won't it let me highlight this? This first one played for 25 seconds. I got 26 cents from this joint. Keep in mind, this was during the day. Like, that's not a lot, right? The range is crazy. But then you see here, this one was during prime time, but it played for 3 minutes and 31 seconds, which is crazy. Because honestly, I don't even know if that track was that long. Like, I usually don't make 3.5 minute tracks. So I don't know. The editor could have very well like chopped the track and like extended it to fit a segment. Because March Madness, I think if I remember that brief correctly, they were asking for tracks that were a little more like repetitive than what we would usually produce for TV. Like they just wanted it mad repetitive. And I remember going in and editing some tracks, but it's possible the editor probably like found a nice clean edit point and just literally like chopped it, copied, paste, and then extended it for 3.5 minutes, which worked in my favor because that ended up paying $298.30 just for that one use on CBS. And because it's network, it's going out to all these stations, so that number, it adds up like super quick. And then the fact that it played so long, like it's literally like you get like a bonus for them using your music for a long period of time. So that's why it's important to like make sure you have clean edit points in your music in case the editor decides he just want to double up on your track, because hey, it's still your track. The longer they play, the more it pays. If they're asking for like repetitive music, make that joint repetitive. Like make sure you have a section that could literally be looped like over and over and over again. So in your verses or something, like just make sure your music it's just clean, where like it can just be chopped from like, I don't know, bar 4 to 8 or 4 to 9, and then if they wanted to just loop that part, they could. That's what we mean when we say like make your music functional. If there's no clean edit points for them to create a loop, they're not going to create a loop. And then if you make a 1.5-minute track, the most they can use it for is a 1.5 minutes if they can't like edit it, or they'll just keep replaying it. But I'm not sure, like depending on if there's like a pause or a break, it'll probably end up counting as like just a different cue altogether, which could probably impact how much you get paid. So the pay for a 1.5 minute cue is gonna be different than a 3.5 minute cue. So those things are important. So what do we have next? We had another Fox prime time. This was like some documentary about Britney Spears. I don't know what that was, but they used 12 seconds. Got $14 for that. It looks like they used it. Either they used it again, this could have been, they probably could have used it in two different parts of the documentary. So this is a good example. Either that or they showed it back to back. You know what I mean? Like maybe they showed it at 8 p.m. and then showed it again at 9 p.m. So we got the same amount there, 14 and 14. And then we had another big one, CBS. This was another documentary, High Crimes in the White House. Probably something super deep. So now this track, I can tell by the name of this track, this was like a tension track, or like an investigative tension track. And I really, really like those, which is why I'm excited about Catfish as well, because I'll make those at least 2 minutes, because they'll use those for a long period of time as well, especially on those documentaries where they just want like some type of drone music or, you know, something to just create like a tense atmosphere while they're talking. They'll use that stuff for a long time too. And that's what happened here. They used 2 minutes and 18 seconds. So I probably made it, you know, something around 2.5 minutes. And then that ended up paying $196 just for that one use. So yeah, you know, it's all about honestly having a diverse catalog with tracks that, you know, you have some cues that'll be a minute and a half, but then you also have some longer ones for the opportunities where they're using music for a longer period of time. And this is why it's important to like watch TV, you know, if you want placements on March Madness, like watch March Madness, and then watch the shows and see like how long are they playing this same track on this show. Okay, so if it seems like most of the tracks they're using are like well beyond 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, then, you know, maybe I'll make a batch of tracks that are just longer, keeping that in mind. Because, you know, the dope thing about sync and working with publishers and stuff like that is, yes, you'll submit music for a specific brief, say for March Madness, or CBS Sports or Catfish or whatever, but the publisher is still going to submit those tracks for other shows and opportunities. So you're going to get multiple uses out of it, but making sure you're thinking about all the different uses when you edit and structure out your tracks. So yeah, so those are the two things that will supercharge your sync royalties. Number one is the channel it plays, network television. And then number two is like the length of use. Like the longer you can get them to use it, well, I mean, you don't have much control over it, but the longer they use it, the more it'll end up paying you. So you can see here, like just the potential and how this can add up. Like this is literally, this is just a snapshot of a statement, and it's literally only 3 of my tracks out of all the music I've produced like over the past 10 years. So like the potential is just, it's ridiculous. Now every placement you get, it's not going to be a major network placement. You're going to have, you're going to have a mixture of a bunch of stuff. You're going to have a mixture of those, 15-cent joints. You're going to have a couple dollar joints. You're going to have some joints in the hundreds. And then, then you're going to have some stuff with the upfront fees where you're getting, hundreds to thousands. It just depends. But it all adds up. Like if you keep working and stay consistent with submitting, your music it gets to a point where it starts to work for you. You just keep feeding the beast so it can snowball. So if you guys have questions, drop them in the chat. I'm going to answer some questions now. I see Z-Man talking about structure. Indeed, Everyday Runway says this is helpful. Glad it's helpful. Can you list some big time artists you have worked for? I've worked for a few. I've worked for a few of them. It's not important right now though. Because it really, in the world of sync, it really doesn't matter, man. Honestly, I had sync placements before I even worked with. No, I take that back. I'm sorry. I've worked with a major artist before I had sync placement, but my first actual placement, was TV and film. That's where it all started for me. And then, some major placements came up, but Yeah, I mean, you don't have to have connections. You don't have to have placements. You just have to be able to create music that's functional, that publishers want, and that serves their clients at the end of the day. A Major Keys, what's good? Exclusive versus non-publishers. Most these days are exclusive. To be honest with you, just cuts down on headaches. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I kind of view it as, each has advantages, but in the grand scheme of things, non-exclusive. Honestly, the only advantage is, okay, you can take a bundle of tracks and throw them in other non-exclusive libraries. But then the question is, well, are those non-exclusive libraries, getting a bunch of high quality placement? So it depends. But it also depends on the music, and like if you're an artist, and what kind of flexibility you want. But it's up to you at the end of the day, what you want to do, what you feel comfortable with. Michael Connor says, are the Q's tracks paid per 30 seconds of music or per minute? You know what? That's a good question. I don't have an answer. I don't know. Like, these formulas are like, I don't know, they're weird, but I don't think it's per 30 seconds or like per minute. I don't know. Like, I feel like somewhere in there, I wish I could find, like, I wonder if there is, like, I'm about to Google it real quick. Let me see, calculating. Because I feel like it would just depend on just the length, and they just plug the length of use in the formula. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna find the answer like just quickly with this. Yeah, like it's so ambiguous. Yeah. So I'm not sure. That's a good question. What's the process in the movie space? What's the difference? Movies. It depends on, like, like your level of involvement, because there's different types of placements in a movie. Like, you got movie trailer placements, then you have like movie score stuff, like music that's like a part of the score. Then you have like music that's just, hey, we have the music and then we placed it to picture in a scene. And it works the same like as a show. Like, you kind of go through the whole process of of clearing it and going through the rights. If you're going through a publisher, then they're taking care of all of that for you. And then they just sync it up. And then you'll probably get a credit on a movie, like at the end of the movie, because usually they'll ask you for that. So yeah, or it'll be something like, I don't know, if it's like instrumental music, maybe they'll just credit you or credit like the licensing company. Which, if you go through movie credits, like, you'll see music libraries at the end of the music credits in the music department and stuff like that. So just depends. But, if you're going through a sync licensing company, they're working with movies, TV shows, documentaries, games, micro sync stuff. They're working on like a bunch of different things. So your music being there also has a chance to get picked up for some of that stuff. Zim Zada in the building. What's up, Zim? As it relates to full songs, how long are a lot of your briefs asking for them to be? About around 2 minutes. I have some a little bit shorter, like around 145 too. That's kind of where I live for the full songs. Um, Lorenzo, appreciate it from the Shy. What's good, see the producer? Billy Ward, what's good? Ty White, glad you appreciate the information. I think there's a market for what's called source music. Imagine a scene at a gas station and there's music the actors react to or hear. Movie suits will look for music that fits certain scenes. Facts, yes, indeed. Absolutely. The Netflix placement we got on Napoli Ever After was it was like source music. It was like music that was like she was in the salon and like the music that was playing in the salon was like my friends the APX. It was their song playing, so it was like as if music was playing in the salon. So that's like an example of source music, or like if they're riding in the car and you hear the music like in the car, you know what I mean. So it's music coming from the car. So yeah, for those who just joined, I just showed everyone a screenshot of a royalty statement that shows you two things that'll supercharge your sync royalties. So if you missed it when this stream is over, just go back and go back to the beginning and you'll catch the gems. Herb is in the building. What's up, bro? Nathaniel Jacobs, what's up? How often do you create for a brief compared to just making music you think Soups will need? Honestly, man, I'm usually creating from briefs most of the time, just with the different companies that I work with. You know, if I'm not seeing a brief from one company 9 times out of 10, there's some other ones shooting me something. Then you get those last minute joints that kind of pop up. But for the most part, it's usually working on a brief, and then you'll have briefs that are more so ongoing. You know what I mean? Like sports briefs. Honestly, it's like if I have no briefs from any company, like I'm gonna do some music that I know will work for sports or some ambient stuff, because sports is just like all year round, and they just always need it. So you can't go wrong with that stuff. But for the most part, I'm always creating from a brief. Or if I'm not, like the few times that I'm not, then I'm kind of building a catalog, you know, of stuff that I just know it's just gonna work, themes that work. When submitting, is 2 minutes the ideal length to submit? Yeah, I'm usually around 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. Again, like based on what we talked about earlier, though, if I'm producing music for March Madness, usually they're asking for longer tracks during that time because they're just, you know, there's longer segments during March Madness where people are just talking. So that's one of the exceptions where I'm going over that 2 minute mark for those, and that's what ended up happening. We got a placement that was used for like 3.5 minutes, and then another one that was, well, the other one was like ambient music, but that stuff can get used for a long time as well. But yeah, typically I'm around 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, unless specifically requested to do otherwise. What's up, Chris Justice? What about us producers that have a big catalog of beats and songs that ain't in sync format, but we trying to get in? You gotta get them formatted. So the less overwhelming approach would be to like take a few, like just a few of the best ones that you know like lyrically would work for sync, or like musically that like would fit. And then just go in and like restructure them. Use the structure I teach you in how to structure instrumentals for TV course. It'll literally walk you through everything to do and all the stuff you need to have, sting endings, you know, how to build the track, every 8 bars, so on and so forth. And then, you know, start with just a handful and then submit those. I did that when I first started. Like I had a catalog of stuff that was just sitting from stuff I was just cooking up, because I didn't have a purpose, because I didn't have any licensing deals. I was just trying to find, you know, licensing deals. So I was just like, yo, I'm gonna just take the stuff that's been sitting on my hard drive for years that, you know, nothing ever happened with, stuff I was cooking up for artists and stuff just never fell into play. You know, and then I just reformatted it a little bit and then submitted it, and then that stuff got signed. A lot of that stuff has been heard on the Image Awards, NAACP Image Awards. That was like one of the first batch of like R&B soul tracks that I had sent out to a publisher, and they used like a handful of them for like several years. I don't know if they still use them. I haven't caught like the last couple years, but you know, those tracks were in like rotation for that award show for like multiple years. I want to say like at least 4. But yeah, definitely that's a start. You know what I mean? What is a piece of advice you give to upcoming producers who are trying to make it as big as you are? I guess, man. Listen. I'm just warming up. I'm just getting started. Man, honestly, the biggest piece of advice: don't quit. You can't stop, man. Like, if your music is trash, so what? It's gonna be trash. Get better. Like, there's tutorials, you know what I mean? Like, learn, get feedback, come to the live music reviews that we do at 9:30, which is like after this. Get feedback on your music, because listen, like a lot of people just sit on their music and just listen to it themselves and just like you just don't know. You never submit it because you're in your head. You're like, I don't know if it's good enough, or you don't think it's good enough. Or you just, you let your auntie listen to it occasionally, or your mom or siblings, and then, they just love everything you do. But you got to get around people who have trained ears and get feedback on it. That way you know what to fix, or if you need to fix anything at all. Because I come across a lot of producers like, yo, this is ready. What are you doing? Submit it. So that's the first thing. Like, you don't quit. If you hear no, or someone says, this music is not ready yet, that just means you just got to keep working. Either it works or it's working on you. So it's like, either way, if you don't quit, either you're going to improve it, or it's like something has to happen by not quitting. Like, you can't just keep going, keep working on your craft and just stay trash. Like, if somehow you manage to stay trash while working to improve and studying and just keep going, I don't know. You broke some kind of code in life that ain't nobody figured out, because I don't see how it can happen. So yeah, man, I just never stop. That's the only difference between me and somebody who hasn't had placements yet. I just never stopped. Kept learning, kept growing, kept listening to people who have accomplished what I accomplished, so that I could avoid, at least some of the mistakes that they already made. And then just kept doing it. Then once I got a little bit of traction, I got that first placement, then, okay, like, let's listen to that. What did I do there? Let's do more like that. And then you just continue to double down on what's working. If you say there's like just some genres, some styles of music that you see gets placed more than other ones that you submitted, then you might want to do more of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time you see success in something, you double down on that. And then you stop paying attention to the other stuff. Like, if jazz isn't getting placed a lot, I'm not making jazz for sync anymore. I'm focusing on these genres that I see on my royalty statement every quarter. Like, I'm doing more of this. And that's how you see exponential growth in sync, by just doubling down on what already works. Let's see. Oh, we got plenty of time. Let's go. If I have a song at 2 different non-exclusive libraries and library A has a use for the song, do I need to let agency B know? No. If they're both non-exclusive, you don't need to let either of them know. Yeah, that's That's the whole thing of the of just being non-exclusive. You know, they know what it is. Um, I have RIA platinum certification, but it means nothing when it comes to this side of the music game. I'm seeing, you know, it. I I mean, I think it means something to your brand as a producer, like your credibility as a producer. Um, and you could possibly leverage that to open some opportunities. But do you need it in sync? No. Like, are they looking for it in sync when you reach out to these companies? Not really. Like, I, anytime I'm reaching out to a new library, I don't even mention placements. Like, I don't mention any previous work. I just say, hey, are you accepting submissions from new composers? That's it. Because honestly, like, does it matter? Like, because they're gonna listen to the music regardless of what you say. If the music does not resonate with them, it doesn't matter what credits you have, what plaques. It doesn't matter, because the music has to work. It's about the music. So, yeah. And I mean, I guess I think that's dope, because that means even if you don't have those certifications, those credits, you still have an opportunity to monetize your music and, you know, and start to make a living in sync. So that's why it's so powerful for independent producers and artists and stuff like that. This is funny. A completely normal YouTube channel. Have you ever made a compilation of commercials or scenes in TV shows where your music can be heard? If not, have you thought about it at all? No, I haven't, because it just sounds like so much time, and I'd just rather not spend my time doing that. I put a playlist together though of stuff, because first I would have to like hunt down the scenes. Sometimes I'll do it for, like, you know, to do placement breakdowns, but sometimes it's just like a pain. So, you know, I usually just don't. But I will list it on like IMDb. Those credits will be on there. So yeah. For the courses, just go to clintproductions.com / link in bio. I have courses for producers on there, or clintproductions.com / courses. All that stuff is on there. Working on the original Road to 10 Placements course. Hey man, I'm telling you, man, that's where to get. I gave y'all everything I did when I got started. Everything I did to get to the first 10 placements. And this is why I named it like 10. Like, 10 is the number where if you can get to 10 placements, you've done the hard work already. So it's going to be easier to, like, the first one's the hardest. You hit 10, like, you can catch a rhythm. You can catch a rhythm. You got the hang of things, of how this work, and then you can really start doubling down and just really lock in. And then your foot is in the door at that point. Like, you know what I mean? So I heard a good bit of Clint's throwback music. I bet the people don't know you can sing. Listen, I sing from time to time. I cut vocals. I did background vocals on the Christmas song that y'all remember Kel Keys? He hasn't been on here in a minute, but I did some background vocals on that. Like, you know, I'm not like a singer. You know, I'm not about to be out here on tour or anything, but as a producer, I don't know, man, like, just as a creator, especially in college, man, I would just have ideas in my head. I ain't have a vocalist around, so I'm like, I'm just about to sing this stuff myself. And then that turned into songwriting, and then I would have artists that wanted me to write stuff. So I went through a spurt where I was writing a lot for, like, a lot of R&B for some indie artists that I produced for. And then I honestly, I kind of got tired of writing. I wrote my first placement was a song that I wrote, I'm Taking Over. But yeah, and then I don't know. Then I just, I went back to focusing more so on music, and then just like letting super dope writers just do what they do best. Occasionally I'll write something, but it's not a space that I've been in heavy the past several years. Let's see. Can us producers, writers submit stuff for you to critique? Oh yeah, at 9:30 is going down. We're doing live music reviews right after this stream. 9:30 Eastern time, depending on where you are. And the directions will be in the description of that stream. Let's see. Biggest upfront fee you came across. Most of them, honestly, is around. They average around like the bigger ones that have actually been landed have been a few thousand, like 5,000 up front. Those are common. And then occasionally, I haven't landed one yet, but I've submitted to a few automotive campaigns. I don't know what it is. These car companies, their budgets are outrageous. Like every automotive brief for an ad that I've seen has been 6 figures, like nothing less. So whatever it is, the automobile industry, they love to pay for music apparently. So I'm still trying to land one of those. I don't know if I'll tell y'all if I ever land one, because y'all gonna start asking me for $2, and I don't know if I want to I don't know if I want to put that out there. But no, like it ranges. Like a lot of the common ones, man, it's gonna be in the hundreds and in the thousands. So yeah. Our upfront fees common. Depends on what you're, depends on where you're working. Reality TV stuff, I'll say not as much. There are some, like if it's like a feature joint, like a full song for artists or something like that, there's some upfront fees for that. Like TV show placements, you can see some. Commercials, you're gonna see upfront. Video games, you're gonna see some upfront, because I don't even think you get royalties on video games, but and that would probably depend on the situation too. So yeah, depends. It just depends. I was Trailer World got royalties. It's a different path. See, there you go. With trailers, it's different, man. Like it's different lanes within sync. So it like really depends on like where you're working, throughout those different lanes. So I have a brief that was sent of a genre that I'm not well versed in. Due Friday. I'm not the only one that the brief was sent to. Rootsy dramedy. Would it be bad to bow out gracefully? No, not at all, man. Like I get stuff where it's just like, nope, it's just not what I do. Now sometimes if I have time, sometimes I'll try out some stuff. Like I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try my hand at that. Like, you know what I mean? Like I've done some stuff, man. Like I've done some I've done some, I don't even know if I have, what time is it? I wonder if I can find some stuff. Let me see. Let me see if I can find, it's probably on, let me see. It's probably on one of my backup drives. I've done some different things that I honestly probably wouldn't have tried if it wasn't for sync. And then especially depending on what the fee is, like once you start getting up in like 5 figures, I'm trying everything. Listen, we gonna try at least. Those automotive briefs, we're trying. I don't care what it is. We're doing it. So let me see. Man, this stuff is so old too. don't even know if I have it. I switched computers like some years ago, and I thought I had copied everything. Well, I did copy everything from my old drive, but then as I started opening up files, I realized they didn't really copy for real. So it was about to take forever to load up. But what was that show? I've done some stuff for Duck Dynasty. Let me see. Let me see if I can find something real quick that's just like out of the ordinary from what I specialize in. Other libraries that specialize in themed drama instrumentals. Oh, like all of them, man. Like the drama stuff, they eat that stuff up. They eat it. They eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They go through a lot of it. American Pickers. What did I do for American Pickers? I don't think that was it. Let me see what this is. That's not really. Nah, cause I do that stuff. That's not necessarily out of the ordinary. Nope, that's ambient stuff. It's in here somewhere. Lighthearted? Yes. It was the Lightheart. Oh no, I don't have the tracks though. There's only sessions. Uh-oh. Oh, wait. I might have it. Nope. I remember that show. I don't think it ever came out. So I'm gonna open this session. I got 9 minutes. I'm gonna try and open this session and what see what this is. I got a track named Countryside. I have no idea what this is gonna sound like. I don't even know if it's gonna open for real. This could be a disaster. What's a good average amount of tracks to send to a library? Like as many as possible. If you're starting out, I say like 5 tracks, playlist of 5. Um, but yeah, I mean like over time, you want to load them up, especially if they're getting placements for you. Like if you see these libraries are getting the placements for me, all right, now again going back to like doubling down on what works. Focus more on those libraries. Look, it's trying to locate stuff already. Lamar Webster just got the AI for producers up. There go Logic. I don't even think I finished this. That's kind of ambient. Again, it's not really. It's not really out of the ordinary. Because I do a lot of ambient stuff. For some reason, I couldn't get PayPal or Affirm to work, but I just got it and I see the course curriculum. That's weird. I don't know why that wouldn't work. Sorry for the issue. It's probably the platform. Okay, dope. Glad you got in at the intro price. All right, what is this? Yo, I don't even. Let's see. All right. So I think I'm gonna play this joint as long as the audio is right. Which let me see. Let's try this. Oh man, I got plugins. Oh boy. Oh, this is. Look at this. This is crazy. This is what happens when you pull up old sessions and a random echo. Where's the mic? All right, so let me see if I can play this. Yo, this echo is out of control. I don't even know if I can hear it, but it sounds horrible. Yes, Michael Connor, when Logic plays a sine wave, it's the worst. Like good and well, this is not even close. Yeah, I have some sessions where like everything is a sine wave. It's just a bunch of sine waves. So yeah, Zimzada, cowboy church praise and worship. There you go. So like that's like some, I don't do like a lot of that stuff, but it was I think we were just like working on the show and they just needed like a bunch of that stuff. So like I went I just went. I was just in the zone, man. I had a guitarist come over for some stuff. Um and then we vibed out on that. I don't know which I can't remember which man, I can't remember which track that was. But I remember it being really good. But yeah, so every now and then, man, I'll work on something that's just mad random. Sound like you fell in the tunnel. Yeah, it was crazy. I don't know what that was about. Um Ridiculous. Um Everyday One Ray says, is it frowned upon to ever attempt to negotiate the upfront fee, or is it more take it or leave it? What considerations are you making when accepting? See part two. Like, if it's streaming platform, are you considering there may be heavy watch initially, then just drop off? Maybe you want a larger upfront fee. It never hurts to ask. Like, if there's more. Sometimes the budget is the budget, and there's no room. But I've asked before where it's just like, um then yeah, that's the only way you find out, if you can get more out of it. But sometimes that's just what they're working with, or it's a situation like some libraries, like they pay everybody like the same upfront fee per placement, like no matter who the artist is or how big they are or whatever. Like it's just, this is the upfront fee for like every placement across the board. Excuse me. Oh, no, this is, yeah, that's something there. I don't know what that is. So yeah, there's like a lot of stuff floating out there that I created, and I like have no recollection of where it went or whatever. But yeah, so that's it, man. Hopefully you guys got a lot of value out of that. The two things that'll supercharge your sync royalties. For those who are just coming in and you missed the us talking about those two things, just go back, watch the replay. It'll be up here. And yeah, that's it. So we are about to transition, and then the next stream will be live music reviews. But all the courses and stuff we mentioned, you can go to clintproductions.com/link in bio. For the AI for producers, there's only like 20 something seats left at the promo price right now, and then it's going to go up. So if you want to get in early, then go ahead and enroll in that. I'm showing you all the tools I'm using in AI, how to implement them. I show you how to implement them. So you can make more money and do more in less time. Pretty much that's what we use AI for. And I'm gonna be adding some dope stuff into that as well. So make sure you lock in and get that. So listen, I'm telling you, like, the producers who get ahead of this and start using this technology, they're gonna leave the producers who don't use it behind, because you're gonna be able to do more. You're gonna be able to create more and create faster. So the producer who's like just doing everything the old way, they gonna submit a couple tracks in there. Meanwhile, the producer who's leveraging AI, like, dude, he hitting them with like 20 tracks just because he's leveraging technology. So AIforproducers.com, or you can just click that link, clintproductions.com/link in bio. The link is in the description as well. But that's it, man. I'm out. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.